What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the right side of the map in the blue color, playing as Odin. His name is Hell's Ravage. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Poseidon. It's everyone's favorite Matrius lover, 3antozz. 3antozz is his own person, and I'm not sure if you guys are aware or not, but 3antozz actually has a stream, and I do believe he did a face reveal. So he's an actual person who exists. So you can't be mean to him no matter what happens, because once you see someone's face on the internet, that makes them real, and you can no longer be toxic to them. Wait, that's not how it works? That's not how it works. Damn it, I just can't get this thing right. Anyways, we have the map Oasis. We have Odin versus Poseidon on Oasis. And what do we have here? A 4 zebra start. This is as good as it gets. 5 zebra start would be better, but 3 zebra start, 2 zebra start, things start looking a little bit shocking for the Poseidon player. But a 4 zebra start, 5 zebra start, you're loving that. As Poseidon, you can have very fast advance time, and you can potentially get some early game harass with your heroes, living the dream. So we'll see how this game's going to go. 3antozz, one of those up-and-coming, kind of near expert caliber players. It's shocking to say that to some who have been around for a very long time, but it is possible to get to that level, even though you are kind of playing catch-up to all the other experts, because honestly, there's such things as skill ceiling, and you just got to crash through their skill ceiling. You're going to start getting those dubs. Now, all that being said, 3antozz is playing against one of those experts in question whose skill ceiling you have to break through. Hell's Ravage has been playing at a top level in this game for years. And I mean years, at least a decade. I recall playing Hell's Ravage way back in, it must have been 2009, 2010, or maybe even earlier than that, in an Age of Mythology, the Titans tournament. Now, if you don't know my history with Age of Mythology, I was a vanilla player to start with. I hated the idea of auto queue. I hated everything about the Titans. I hated shooting docks. I hated the free myth units. I hated Atlantean, etc., etc., etc. And I just wouldn't play the Titans at all, and I just played vanilla, like a true, pure Age of Mythology appreciator. Now, if you are not that is completely fine. Just know that you are a fake. Just know that. Anyways, I remember playing Hells, and I recall he was playing Norse, and I recall it was Thor, and I remember playing him and utilizing some vanilla strategies with the Egyptians and catching him off guard, getting some cheeky dubs before later getting destroyed by Magyar in very, very embarrassing fashion. That is, yes, that is... That's my story, but Hells is here now to say, you know what, I'm really good at the game. Well, Hells is really good at the game. He's saying I'm really good at the game, because he is, and he's going to show us how to play some Odin. He is a very, very strong player, and I'm excited to see what he comes up with. 3antozz, on the other hand, is already advancing to the classical age through Hermes, already throwing down this wall. I actually love this wall here from 3antozz, and the reason for it is it's going to mean that the early game Valkyrie is not going to do all that much damage, and 3antozz can actually restrict so much of what Hells can do early game, and he can potentially go for a very, very defensive orientated game plan here against the Odin, which we don't get to see very often. Normally you get overwhelmed and things are a bit tough, but on a map like Oasis, less hunt, less ability, less chance for your opponent to really get that done. And it does look like that's exactly what 3antozz is doing. He's got 6 villagers on wood. He's got 6 villagers on gold. I would be very surprised if this town center wasn't grabbed here when he can. Now, is that what he's doing? He's spent his resources on Theseus and on Hippolyta. Obviously, that's completely standard. Katoskopos, unfortunately, falling here for 3antozz before he has found the enemy hunt. I have been hearing a lot of people talking about how it's probably worth it to get your Pegasus out of your temple And I don't see any reason why that might be wrong there. We are seeing 3antozz moving up to this town center to grab this one. This one is a little bit more scary. I don't like this town center as much as grabbing this one over here. Yes, this has got a gold mine behind the town center, but that's no different really to this gold mine here. A couple of walls are going to be fine. Town center to help out. A couple of buildings living the dream, but he is indeed going to be grabbing that one. And Hell's now up through Freya, a very late advance time. The thing is, though, it doesn't matter all too much with Norse if you advance this late. The idea being that you're going to be building Hersa anyways. It's just your longhouses come up a little bit later. And I would assume here that Hells is getting himself his upgrades. He does have hand axe already. He's getting himself husbandry to fatten those herdables up. And here's the big thing. When Hell sees this town center going up, he's going to have a few questions to ask. Does he go for one town center all in? Does he grab his own second town center? Does he just try and go for units and raid? We'll see what's going to happen here as the longhouses coming down for Hell's 3antozz now. Town center just about through. Lots of wood in the bank. Not so many herdables here actually for 3antozz. He's kind of been shorted on this. He does still have his hunt over here that he's going to try and jump onto. We do see that he's just going to be attacking this wall over here. And because 3antozz has not really spotted where any of the resources are of his opponent, he's not going to be able to get any value out of his early Hippolyta or Centaur. Thank you so much for the 12 months. It's our anniversary, Sharky. Oh, and he's insulting me on his anniversary. That's an interesting way to congratulate someone on their anniversary. But okay, he said I'm a noob, and maybe he's right. Maybe he's right. That's fine. It's all right being bad at the game. Hells is looking like he is in fact going for a 3 longhouse build here. 3 longhouses. Let's go. 3 longhouses. So he's going kind of all in the classical age in a way, as we are seeing the wooden wall slowly but surely going down, but the raiding cavalry and the Valkyrie going to come in and say, Theseus, get off this. This is not exactly a good trade for 3antozz, as he's going to be trying to retreat away from these raiding cavalry, and we will be seeing this wooden wall getting repaired back up by Hell's. A nice play there to get that happening. 3antozz is throwing up the walls all across the map here. He's a very big fan of this. He likes the early walls. If you're aware that your opponent is a fan of this, you do want to be checking those corners of the map. Like normally you don't. You more want to come and attack these villages like he already is. But this is a free villager kill over here if you spot it. And if you're aware your opponent does these kind of things, you just got to be actively scouting, denying that, and it can hurt them a lot more than anything kind of else. And then you can put your own walls up and stuff like that. Can be very, very strong. Especially when someone goes 2 town centers. If someone goes 2 town centers, they're more likely to be able to afford and want to throw these walls up because they know that they're playing defensive. So Hell's now moving forward with his raiding cavalry as 3antozz retreating away. A couple more military buildings coming up. We've got the double archery range coming in. There is forest fire here, so we can deny this archery range, open up this town center, live the dream there. Thank you for the raiding party. 9-2 easy. Appreciate you, my friend. Centaur shooting away as the raiding cavalry trying to get in here, but looks like they're not quite able to, and he's going to be retreating back, getting a couple of picks here, or the town center is getting a couple of picks. So 3antozz is kind of in a very good position here. A very, very good position. He's taken very little damage. He's on 2 town centers. Hells is on 1 town center. And Hells is kind of, I mean, he's got a lot of herdables remaining, but Hells has got to think about where to next. And he's kind of just full raiding cavalry at this point. He does have a couple of infantry units to throw up a town center, and he is indeed going to be doing this. So we're probably going to end up with a fairly boomy game here, which might actually favor the Greek player in a little, kind of, but just because of how many herdables are here, it might be okay for Hells. If Hells can get to the heroic age before he runs out of these herdables, he's going to be in a very strong position. Otherwise, it becomes more favorable for the Greek player, I would assume, as the final wall pieces are getting thrown down for 3antozz. He's currently only at 73 population, which is pretty close to where Hells is. So everything looking up Poseidon here on this map. As we'll see, the Raiders going to blast their way through these walls over here. Obviously, very, very strong. If you're actually a two-town center player in this kind of a situation, a lot of the time it's actually very, very beneficial to actually invest in stone walls early. I'm going to say it's only 400 resources, because the idea being that it gives you twice as much survivability, twice as long time to react, which means twice as long time to get more units out and defend, getting the wall back up, all that other stuff. I think that stone walls are one of the most underappreciated technologies in the game, as we do see a forest fire getting thrown down here as Hells is trying to get out of this location. He breaks down all those buildings, but that's a lot of extra militia for 3antozz. He's going to be loving that. He's also potentially going to get the forest fire's got a very low damage cap, and he gets not that stable as well. And I'm sure 3antozz actually would have preferred to lose said stable for another 2 or however many militia you get. I think it's 3 militia out of the stable. Oh, no, it's 2 militia out of the stable. If he gets another 3 militia out of the stable. Yes, 3. 3 out of a big building, 2 out of a small building. That's how it goes. Anyways, Valkyrie gets sniped over here. So raiding cavalry going to be pushing through this location. 3antozz is attempting to look towards the heroic age. Hell's Ravage is nowhere close to the heroic age, as he is constantly pumping out these raiding cavalry from his longhouse. He's still got 6 alive goats remaining, and these goats are sitting up at about 235 food at this point. So they've got a lot of food in them. So he's still got a lot of chance to get to the heroic age without having to farm. So we'll see if he's going to get there or not, as the raiding cavalry trying to push through. 3antozz moving in with his Toxotes, with his militia here to help defend. And the raiders retreating away. We're trying to see a couple of ghost buildings getting thrown down here, as Hells is going to get out of this location. I would assume the wall getting rebuilt over here makes perfect sense by 3antozz. He must have just forgot to send the villager over there, but he will get that thrown back up. This wall will come back as well. And you can just see, like, if there was stone walls here, which, I mean, 3antozz can probably actually afford it and be fine, he would be much, much happier behind said walls than otherwise. As we see the wall getting thrown up here, the villager has to retreat back in an attempt at maybe picking off that villager. It's not going to happen, but Hells has to kind of stay here if he wants to keep the wall down. And that is kind of what 3antozz actually wants in a lot of the ways. So nice play there from doing that. We're seeing some more farms coming up. I'm going to talk a little bit about farming right now. These farms that are centered one farm away from the town center are incredibly inefficient. It is well worth your time to, well, just use the granary that's here, but more importantly, throw up an extra granary such that it's adjacent to these farms for those villagers to have an easier place to drop off. You'll see your food economy start skyrocketing if you spend the extra effort to actually do that kind of farming shenanigans there. As we are seeing now 3antozz going through Aphrodite, and Hells is attempting to get himself a 3rd town center. 3antozz is going to say, no, you're not allowed that town center, but then he's going to have to deal with all these raiding cavalry as the army of 3antozz attempting to make a break for it through the wall over here. The raiding cavalry have moved around the back side here, going after the villages. We see 3antozz trying to utilize this wall to retreat through and keep his army alive, waiting on his curse here to keep himself going. This town center is going up fairly quickly here, but this is actually a pretty good fight for 3antozz to be taking. He's got the town center helping out. His Toxotes in the back, just not taking any damage, so doing max DPS. Those militia that were effectively free are doing a lot of damage here, and we will indeed see the curse getting thrown down, the raiding cavalry getting destroyed. Hell's dropping down to 96 population. 3antozz at 116 population, in an amazing position here, and Hell's not going to the next. Oh, he is able to get to the heroic age, so he's able to get heroic age before needing to farm, which is huge, which means he doesn't actually have to go onto farms too heavily. He can actually go pretty heavily onto wood, make himself a Huskar throwing axeman, and be in a decent position that way, and then farm after that can be a very strong way to play the heroic age if you're struggling for food. especially in this kind of situation. But we will be seeing this town center attempting to go up, but 3antozz is saying no, too many units here, and Hells will actually have to give up on this location, it seems, as the infantry units are going to get taken out by those Toxotes. And Hell's a little bit sad about that one there, but nonetheless, he is going up to the heroic age, and he's going to be living the dream with that one. 3antozz now up in the top corner of the map with his villagers. Would love to see a marker get placed in this top corner, though he does not have it scouted up. You just have to send the villager over here when he goes idle. You click the idle villager button, and you build the market. A classic technique there. And now we see 3antozz ready to start moving forward. He does not really need to move forward here. I do see this quite a bit from Greek players, where they win a fight and they move forward against their Norse foe when they basically know that Frost is available. If Frost gets cast on your units at home, they're not going to die. If they get cast, or Frost gets cast in the enemy base, then probably will die because they're not going to be able to get out and all of the good stuff there. But 3antozz is looking to get up to the mythic age here. It seems he does have the market in his home base, and I wouldn't be surprised to see anything other than Artemis here. A big earthquake can be very, very strong here, as we do see a cheeky ghost building trying to help defend this, but all of these walls are going to be opened up, and basically right now Hells is going to be attempting to cast Frost on this location here with a whole bunch of units over here. This is what he wants out of Frost. He wants Frost to go down on a whole bunch of villages and then ceasefire to come through. I would assume that would make a lot of sense. But when I was seeing the Prodromus coming out, 3antozz not really going to need to do all that much to do this. And there is the Frost on the army, on the villages, and the ceasefire will indeed come down, I would assume. And we're seeing a Feistus here from 3antozz. Maybe he sends a villager over here to start building this town center up. No, okay, he doesn't have any gold, so that's why. Anyways, I'm surprised to see no ceasefire yet. Ceasefire would make... Why not? Especially if you get the town center up. You can sell some wood, sell some food, build this town center, go 3 town centers here. You got a Feistus to boot. Clearly, you're playing for the late game here, so you need to make sure you secure that. And losing out on all of this HP is going to be very, very difficult for 3antozz. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Hells starting to get some very, very good amounts of food income. Put some more effort into your farms, guys. Come on. Good upgrades here for Hells. Needs to think about getting Winter Harvest, which he is indeed getting now. It's a huge boost to the food economy of the farms. As we see those Raiders of Hells now popping out, ready to start fighting. They are heavy Raiders. We see the Frost Giant coming in here as well. Would love to see some Ulfsark, some heavy Ulfsark getting mixed into the army for Hells, but he obviously doesn't have the resources just yet. He can transition about 10 of those wood villages he has onto farms now, with Winter Harvest irrigation coming through, going into a huge amount of food-based units, and can be very, very strong. Get the market, the trade route started. This is part and parcel of why Skadi is absolutely busted. You get the Frost, you get the Winter Harvest, you get the Frost Giant. Every single element, the Huntress Axe, every single element of Skadi is bonkers good. But 3antozz has managed to get to the Mythic Age. He is at full villager population here. This town center is going the wayside of Hells at this point. But we see the Prodromus coming through to deny it. The Plentyfold is down. We've got ourselves the Colossus here. 3antozz is in a good position. He's going to be getting himself, I'm sure, as soon as he can afford it, Forge of Olympus and those extra 2 armories, going up to full armory upgrades. And the defense is mounting here. It seems there's some more military academies coming up. We still have a whole bunch more gold mines over here. Still would like to see 3antozz thinking about getting the stone wall upgrade in this matchup. Seems incredibly strong and very good at the defensive. The defense that he needs to do. We are seeing some Prodromus coming through to deal with these heavy raiders at this point, but a lot of villagers are falling here while this is all going on. The militia over here getting a little bit of damage done. But these raiders have got thundering hooves, so they can actually get away fairly easily, but it is seemingly looking like Hells is giving up on those raiders for the time being. Over here, these Prodromus are getting picked off as well, and now Hells is getting everything else he needs. Look at all of those food villages. Now it's so much wood in the bank. He can sell all that wood, buy his way to the Mythic Age. We'll see which way he wants to go. I would assume you go, in this situation, you go tier here to give yourself a bit of a kind of a timing window to get yourself a tempo. It's give yourself a bit of a tempo to get this town center, to prevent this town center. Now we'll see here if 3antozz has been listening to me or not, because he's held on to ceasefire. So the idea with holding on to ceasefire this late, it would seem to me, is that when tier comes in, click ceasefire. Bring your heroes home, and then Frost is going to do very little to you. That is the idea here, and we see Balder coming through, so doesn't even matter. So Hell's going kind of all in here with the Ragnarok. We'll see if it's gonna work. He doesn't have much of a trade route set up, but he has started it as all these villages are still pumping out, or pumping out of one town center. He needs the other town center to be pumping here. Hill Fort coming up for Hells. I'll be interested to see how Hells is going to use this Ragnarok. There's been a lot of times Ragnarok is being misused in these games. And in this situation here, this is not an all-in Ragnarok type of game. This is, at least in my opinion, this is a boom Ragnarok, set up towers, get to your late game dream of Ballast the Fire Giant on the back of it. So you need to make sure you have a big amount of trade, defending the trade route, making sure you're holding on against the Greek pressure, and then once the Greek pressure mounts, you've got enough resources to make that Ragnarok do a whole bunch of damage. But I wouldn't be surprised to see an early Ragnarok here. We always see an early Ragnarok. Let's see how this one is all gonna go here. 3antozz still not making any effort to move forward on the top side of the map here. His building upgrades are nowhere to be seen. Needs to get the masons, needs to get the architects, needs to get the fortified town centers. Very low on the wood here as well, running out of all of those units. He's throwing down those military buildings. He's got himself only 3 military academies, which does make me very nervous for this Balder that is going to be coming here. Balder has hit 4 Hells. He's at full population here, full swing. Would love to see him get coinage straight away. Get those armory upgrades in. If we check out the armory upgrades, he's only got himself pierce armor, and we are not seeing any click up through. No Ragnarok just yet. We're starting to see those side buildings coming down now for Hells as well. Absolutely love that. Walls in the middle of the map for 3antozz as the Frost Giant is going to town over here, doing some nice stuff. I love that we didn't see an immediate rag here. I think this is great from Hells. Needs to fix this market up into the... This is where the market goes. The market doesn't go here. Unless your name is Matrius, you cannot put the market here. You have to put it over here. It is 100% a straight line up. As far away as the town center is, you get so many more resources. There's no reason to not do it. Just don't be lazy. All right? It's like your farm's being built like this. It's just lazy. Just put the time in. Ah! Matrius is in the chat saying, nice market. No! No! Fire Giant over here going to be going to town. And at this point, 3antozz simply just... he needs to simply just get his trades sorted, get his economy kicked into gear, and then start doing Poseidon late game things here and pressuring different parts of the map with buildings, getting them all set up, making life hard for his opponent. We see this Fire Giant era as well for Hells, as Hells is just literally just taking his time here, setting up as much as he can, and we'll see how many resources he's going to go for. Maybe he decides to go for a Titan on the back of a Ragnarok. You could go for Rag Wonder even in this matchup. I actually think that Rag Wonder might be pretty good in this specific situation, especially like Rag Titan Wonder. Obviously, you need to have a lot of resources in the bank to make that happen, but more importantly, simply just Rag Towers into Ballista. Very, very strong. And we'll see if that's what's going to happen as the Hypaspis are coming out. And the Hypaspis, very strong here. 47% hack armor. And you can actually see they're sitting at 34% hack armor. Unlike the Axeman, which has got 40% base hack armor, the Hypaspis only 34% hack armor. Some might say that there's something a little fishy going on with the stats of the Axeman. I could be wrong. We see the Watchtower getting taken out over here. More upgrades coming in for Hells. He is basically just a crazy amount of economy here. Look at 37 villages on food, 29 on wood, 26 on gold, plus trade route here. This is going to be a 400 plus population Ragnarok as we see the town center getting taken down. Hells obviously doesn't want to click Rag just right away because he does have to deal with potential ceasefire from 3antozz. we do see the fire giant getting taken down. These frost giants are going to fall as well here. And we are starting to see those portable rams coming through. I'm not sure if Hells is invested in, because I don't think it shows up correctly if I click the tooltip there. I don't think he's invested in Dwarven Augur just yet. The Dwarven Augur is going to be a very, very important upgrade for him to be researching, as 3antozz here is still yet to really set up a trade route. He started it just now. He still hasn't got himself fortified town centers, which is a big, big mistake from 3antozz. Maybe just not being able to afford it. He can sell some of that food. He's got a lot of food in the bank, obviously wanting said food for a pacifist. And still no, there's the fortified town center coming through on the front town center here with Apollothemus ready to come out of it. Raven just floating overhead over in the back. And Hells here still slowly but surely setting up for a huge Ragnarok here. No upgrades for the portable rams is very important if you're going for this. This is this delayed kind of Ragnarok push with portable rams to get Dwarven Augur, to get siege engineers, to make sure you can push through everything. Remembering that you are against Poseidon and you will have to also push through militia as well, meaning you can't just send your portable rams somewhere by themselves. You need army to boot. And if we check out all of this, now Hells is only simply building dwarves out of his town centers. His dwarves are finishing up on this gold mine over here. No, 2,500 gold over here. It's seemingly looking like maybe Hells is starting to dump resources and then rag. I hope he doesn't click rag until he's banked up enough resources though. This is something that's very, very important, as we are seeing over here. Stone walls has come in, some chemo walls getting thrown down, Ragnarok getting cast, and we have a 378 population Hells Ravage Ragnarok. This is huge. It's all going to be making its way forward here. We still don't have champion infantry through for 3antozz just yet. He needs that champion infantry if he wants to stand a chance. He's obviously got nearly full iron upgrades, as the iron is still coming through. Iron mail, iron weapons, and champion infantry anywhere. There it is coming through just now as the Rag heroes making their way forward. If I was 3antozz right now, I would cast ceasefire fairly early here. There we go. Good ceasefire. And just making sure there are no gaps in your base for the Rag heroes to move forward is absolutely crucial. And I don't think that 3antozz is aware that this is an opening. The heroes are going to get in and they're going to be able to set up in the base. Hells has got not very many resources in the bank. He's got a couple of units queued up. This is something you have to cancel when you do these builds. He's got a couple of these portable rams here idle as well. And this is a big, big mistake from 3antozz. I thought he was fully set up. The walls would have been perfect. Hells needs to put some buildings down over here. He's seemingly spending everything on a Titan here. He is going for Rag Titan behind this. No resources remaining. He does have the trade route, so the trade route is still going to be doing something here. And the walls are coming up over here to deny the trade route of 3antozz as well. And all the gold mines to boot. This very, very brutal play here from Hells. 3antozz obviously got a lot of resources in the bank himself. He's going to have himself already champion infantry. He's going to have the pacifists coming out to deal with this. These villagers over here are all going to get cleaned up. The villagers over here, the gold mine over here, very, very sad. Over here we are seeing this stone wall going down. Do we have upgrades in this? We've got masons. Do we have architects coming through? Not just yet. We have the heroes queued up to come out of this location. The fire giant follow-up is very real as well in this situation. We see the portable ram coming through. Still no Dwarven Augur from Hells. If we check out Hells's hill forts, he did pull the portable rams in here as well, so they're going to help taking down this town center as the village is repairing this one back up. The pacifists doing the damage that they need to prevent this town center from going down. Meanwhile, the town center over here is getting torn down very, very quickly. 3antozz probably still sitting pretty close to full population. He needs to be having every single one of these military academies getting trained from, and it's probably even worth it to have investment in Levy here. One of those technologies you never hear about, but it gives you an extra 20% or reduction of 20% in your unit train time, as Hells is now going to be getting that Titan out. He's got how many units here? Only 12 units on his Titan Gate. And Hell's got a lot of gold income right now. He can actually buy food and all the other good stuff there. Does he have full iron? Basically full iron, missing iron weapons, but no big deal there. Already back up to 100 favor here as well, as the heroes of Ragnarok are having to retreat away from these Paspis. The town center has gone down, but it's immediately going to get rebuilt. Hells is now dropping down to 247 population. He's deleted this town center from the map as well. Antos is down to 1 town center for just a little bit as this town center goes to the wayside of Hell's Ravage. The fire giant taking down the tower here, and this Titan is going to be a very difficult thing for Antos to defend. Now, Antos can click up to the Titan Age himself, and he is indeed doing that. So we'll see if Antos can get his own Titan out and defend the Ragnarok. This town center is Hell's here, so Antos also has to maybe get up a fortress here, get up Petropolis and start sieging this one down. The Paspis possibly could take down the town center as well once this all gets taken out. Hell's is obviously going to have to start thinking about rebuilding his economy, but because he's already got all the farms set up, he just needs to make sure he's building gatherers, putting them onto the farms and buying food until it sorts itself out, and then he's going to be back up to villager population. He only really needs about 40 villages with the trade route that he's got to have enough to kind of support a full 180 population army. So 40 villages, 3 town centers, you do the math, 3 minutes later he's there, and he's already got all the economy coming in as well, so it's not a big problem. Hells is now going 5 town centers as Antos is not able to hold on here. We do see the militia coming through onto this location. We've probably already got architects, no architects, but masons here. Villagers getting pulled by Antos as he's realizing he's got ridiculous amounts of resources in the bank. This town center will go down, and then he's going to be able to get it back for himself. 6 of the Titans just about to pop here for Antos as this town center going through. Obviously, Antos probably doesn't care too much about idle villages here, so getting that Titan up is going to be very important. Up on this top corner of the map, some Paspis trying to defend the villagers who are mining gold here to keep Antos alive. Though, if I take a quick look at this, you can buy, you can be selling, no, you can't, it doesn't really matter shit anyways. Hells here Hells needs to be buying food at this point, basically, and making sure he's not spending dwarves. Dwarves are bad. Don't build dwarves. They take too long to build, and they cost very important gold that you need for everything else, like buying food and fire giants. Anyways, it doesn't really matter. Town center now coming up for Antos. He managed to take this one down. The heroes of Ragnarok now going to sit on the plenty vault. Very smart play from Hell's Ravage here, as he is going to attempt to take that one away from Antos, give himself a little bit more resources to hold on. This Theseus walking forward here, trying to figure out what to do. Are we seeing Hell's getting villagers out of that forward town center? Not just yet. I would. Still the farms. They're there. Why not? The Paspis up here have managed to deal with all of the heroes of Ragnarok behind enemy lines. The village is going to be able to continue mining that gold for a little bit longer. Hell's at 145 pop. Antos at 134 pop. Still no attempt at throwing down this Titan Gate anywhere, it would seem, as the army moving around for Antos, potentially being aware that this is not going to be very well defended at all. The Paspis might be able to put a stop to the Titan Gate, but the army has been distracted right now. 7 of Paspis plus the militia could deny this Titan Gate at this point. There is a watchtower here, which is going to be a little bit strong to deal with. We've even got a portable ram here as well to push through these buildings, but Anton's not going after that Titan Gate. We do have a couple of raiding cavalry back here now, so he's going to be able to defend it fairly easily. We see the villagers now onto this Titan Gate over here. It is walled off fairly nicely, but there's really not that many villagers here at all, as the heroes of Ragnarok are going to attempt to make their way through here, bash through this stone wall. There is an Atlanta over here as well that's going to be able to take down a couple of these heroes of Ragnarok. But I would just start repairing this if I was Antos as best as I can. Get some army over here. We do see the Polyphemus able to finish off the fire giant there. The portable ram going to be going down as well, but that will be a couple of militia that pop out. A militia that pops out in order to take this portable ram down. And now we see the town center getting finished off. 89% of the way through is Hell's Ravage's Titan here. So he's going to have a Titan to push forward. Titan doesn't really mean game ending against Greek, though, because all Greek needs to do is get out all 4 heroes and chase the Titan around. But we are going to probably be seeing this Titan Gate of Antos getting taken down here. 600 HP, 500 HP, 400 HP. So it's not going to be able to be a Titan trade here, but there's not really a whole lot of health that Hells has to kind of go with his own Titan. So basically all 3antozz needs to do here is get his town center back and then start doing defensive Titan Greek maneuvers. In the idea is making a whole bunch of heroes here. So we'll see if he's going to be able to afford to do that first and foremost, and then what Hells is going to be able to do with his own Titan in this game. Now, essentially, Hells is at 160 or 160 population now. He's got 32 villages on food. Is he still making these caravans? He needs to stop making ox caravans because all he needs is villages right now on wood, and he's got enough economy here. It's 153, 160 population. Just stop building villages, and then all of that economy that you're investing into villages starts going into other units like Olvsark, like raiding cavalry, everything else. You're starting to see hill forts getting taken out. This lone fire giant here going to be denying this town center for as long as he possibly can. So you see the Titan wandering up into this location, going to be taking out these Hepaspist here as well as they are retreating away. If you can get the Titan onto the Hepaspist, it's actually kind of disgusting as all of those Hepaspists will start falling. We'll see if the Hell's going to take down these buildings or not. Looks like he's not going to. He's just going to walk straight past there, go straight after the town center. Just classic Titan maneuvers, nothing too special. No real reason to do all too much with it. One thing you can and probably should try with your Titan is a bit of speed walking. Get an Olvsark in the front and then just kind of drag that Titan forward. You can move very, very quick here. As we see the Titan getting taken down. We've only got one hero currently on to the Titan. Where's the Polyphemus at this point? I don't see him anywhere. Obviously, 3antozz is a little bit strapped for population here as the Titan is kind of just getting beaten up by militia here. You got to be pretty wary that you have to push through militia, and you just have to smack the floor once and they all die. Otherwise, you're kind of getting one DPS of population done. So we are going to see the houses getting taken down, the militia getting taken down as well, and the town center will be the next port of call. As over here, we see a whole bunch of Hepaspis on this location right now for 3antozz, taking down these hill forts. 3antozz doesn't need this at this point. He really just needs to get his heroes out in order to defend this Titan. At this point, only 500 HP of damage. The farms are going to start getting taken down. 3antozz is going to start having a very difficult time with food here. We see the temple getting rebuilt. The Theseus Hippolyta getting produced here. Villages coming out of this town center over here. This town center on this location still getting denied by raiding cavalry as Hells is attempting to go full raiding cavalry against these champion Hepaspis. Makes perfect sense here. Once you get to kind of equal upgrades, the raiding cavalry do very, very nicely against those Hepaspis in the late game. As we see the town center getting denied. Raiding cavalry have hit champion raiders here for Hell's Ravage. This Titan can now move between this town center and this town center, effectively trading itself for 20 population because it's worth 20 population and it can take 40 population away from your opponent. So if you keep your opponent down, 40 plus 20, you get 20. There you go. Math. I can do it from time to time. Settlement now coming up for 3antozz as he does have a random Polyphemus over here. Obviously wants to deal with the fire giant. We're going to see one of those really awkward things that happens with Polyphemus. He whacks the fire giant away. The fire giant is then able to sit here and not take any damage, but 3antozz starts recognize that. Going to bring Polyphemus over here and finishing this fire giant off. Titan returning back onto this town center over here to take this one down as he's... wait, where is he going? What's he doing? Hello? Titan. My dude. Maybe he's going to go after the villages. Titan raids. Hello? Hells? Okay, there we go. We are seeing the fortified town center getting taken down yet again. Hells is still putting all of his pressure onto this location over here. We've got a couple of villages on this location. I think Hells is maybe a little bit inexperienced in the late game with the Norse in terms of how much economy he actually needs, because we've actually got Hetairoi coming out in order to take down these markets. Very, very smart, but Hells is just over economized here for the late game with Norse. Norse does not need that many villages. Once you have your trade, you can kind of go up to 20, 25, 30 villages on food. 20 villagers on wood. You're looking at about 50 total villagers there, and it is seemingly looking like the market will get taken down. So the trade route has been denied. Yet again, Hells is going to be able to move his Titan over here now to take down the other fortified town center, as he's finally going to start getting some value out of that Titan. Market coming back up. Would love to start seeing the walls getting thrown down by Hells, just to make sure that he's not going to get too much pressure onto him here. Up on this location, we have seen the town center back up for 3antozz, as the market has been deleted. Is he trading anywhere here? He's got 2 town centers at the moment, about to be 0. There's the donkey caravans here getting pushed back. I wouldn't mind seeing a market in this corner going to this town center now as an idea, and these stables will have to get taken out. They still don't have architects, which is maybe a pretty big mistake here from 3antozz, but he obviously can't afford it right now, it would seem. No food in the bank. You do see a random wall getting thrown up as 3antozz is trying to be sneaky with his army over here, and his villagers getting side builds. Now going to move forward. We'll see if 3antozz can now start taking down this town center, as well, Hells can't really defend it, can he? He's sitting at 160 or 160 population, but his army is kind of all over the shop here, as this Titan now starting to get taken down by the Polyphemus, as 3antozz is doing his best to hold here. Similarly looking like Hells wants to open this up, and this is very smart. This is 100% what you have to do with the Titan, is kill the town center and then bring units in to take that location. Otherwise, you're just kind of trading for time. And you see the Fire Giant getting a lot of value here, taking out these human units. Even with full upgrades, the Fire Giant still goes to town on these champion pacifists, on these Toxotes, on everything. All these units, one Fire Giant taking down so many units of 3antozz is there. Nice play. Well done by that Fire Giant, as now Hell's going to move through these walls, opening up the map even more. Fire Giant running in onto this location. Still not seeing any kind of side builds getting sorted out. We do have the walls up now for Hells in order to hold on against any of these side builds, and just more walls. Kind of everywhere that there's a forest, you want to connect a wall to with Norse. I'm not kidding when I say this. This is what you do with Norse, and is one of the big reasons why Norse can actually kind of compete with other civilizations in the late game. Though obviously this is a different situation, because our Norse player Hells has got himself a Titan here, as the Titan is going to be wandering up here. We see these Fire Giant trying to take down the town center as well. They are siege units. They cost 5 population, and they will eventually take down the town center, though they're kind of only doing about 30 damage a shot, as opposed to the Titan, who completely clocks the town center with his big club. Whack, whack, whack. As we see the town center going down over here, Hippolyta going to be shooting her magic arrow at said Titan. Still no Polyphemus over here. Such an important unit. You can also think about getting out those Colossus, because you want to fire this. 3antozz loses the town center there, as the Titan now going to be moving in onto the fortress over in the back. The villagers going after, or the Hippocon going after the villagers here, as we do see a watchtower up on this location. Looking like Hells is delete. No, you don't delete trade. You don't delete trade. You take villages. You make villages into Ulfsark. You get mini Ragnaroks where you can push yourself over pop cap. That is the secret to the Norse economy in the late game. You push yourself over pop cap to get buildings getting thrown down, sending villagers forward. Obviously, he's mining gold from the gold mine. That's why it seems like he's got so much extra gold. But, well, Hell's moving with his Titan. Might be able to grab this plenty vault for just a little bit here, as he's going to take down the town center as well. The walls have kind of come back over here for 3antozz. It's now the Fire Giant taking out the town center. Still not seeing Hell's making too much of an effort over here. Is now throwing up the hill fort, as the town center is being taken down up on the top side of the map here. 3antozz having to react to kind of everything. We do still have all these stables here. 3antozz at 119 to 140 population, still trying to get out his heroes. He does manage to get out Polyphemus, which is going to be a big help in taking down the Titan. He does actually do almost 30 damage. I think he does exactly 30 damage a shot to the Titan, and that is because he does 5 crush damage, which ends up being quite a lot to only an 89% crush armor, 89% hack armor. So it's like 24 hack, 5 crush, plus the 400% bonus. So you can do the math, it ends up being 30. see the town center getting taken out here. Villagers wandering in here, going to get smacked down and lose their life. So it does end up falling. The Theseus does get to pop out though from that town center here. Where's the Theseus going though? He's going after the fire giant as the buildings are getting thrown up. The watchtower is getting up as well. We see the town center coming through for 3antozz on this location. 3antozz at 0 town centers for the time being, but he does manage to get 2 back up after all of the pressure. The Ulfsark now getting converted, or the villagers getting converted to Ulfsark over here for Hells. He's able to hold a little bit over here, but the Hepaspist here to deal a lot of damage to this, as well as those militia that have come through here. The towers are up, but 3antozz is going to try and make some sort of an attack onto that location work, as these buildings getting thrown up over here. Portable Ram has come in, and now Hells is making the long trek around to come back onto this town center here, as the raiding cavalry moving up to the top corner of the map. Definitely going to attempt to continue to deny any decent trade route here. Would still love a corner market here from 3antozz, but he hasn't done it just yet. Portable Ram comes through for Hells, but will get taken out very, very quickly, as 3antozz is now finally making his way over onto the trade route yet again. As there's not an easy way for Hells to defend this, as his walls aren't 100% set up just yet. Now we see the army pushing through for Hells. The Titan coming in, lots of resources in the bank as well. So he's got a lot that he can start throwing down here. Town center going to get taken out. 3antozz is still not able to get this town center back up. He's lost a lot of villages in this game, it would seem, as he's trying to rebuild them, only able to rebuild them from effectively one town center once this town center goes down. So 15 seconds, one villager at only 18, 6, 24 villages total here for 3antozz, as that is a big problem factor for him. Still no hill fort anywhere, fortress anywhere for 3antozz, as that would be very helpful. Just one lone fortress off on the side to be building those heroes so he can continue to get those villagers out, but he's just not able to afford it here in this game. As even if 3antozz can take down these markets and prevent the trade route of Hells is probably fine here to just reposition his market elsewhere. So these Hepaspists are all out here as well. 3antozz has got 170 of 120 population with like no income at all, it would seem. You see the market here in the corner that Hells might want to take down. The trade route coming through, going to be picking up a whole bunch of gold, returning back over onto that market there. And maybe Hells is going to try and pick off these with his Titan. No, not going to try. Anyways. Now the Titan going to move in, try and take down this town center. Will be very successful there. We see 3antozz now coming back in to try and take out more of the Ox caravans with the Hepaspist. I actually kind of like the Hepaspist raids, even though they only deal 8 damage a shot. Not very much. It means that the only way to react to this raid is to be sending cavalry over. You can't really send throwing axemen, that is. We are seeing cavalry coming for Hells relatively quickly. Now Hells throwing up some watchtowers as well here. Town center back up for 3antozz, as he's able to get that one back up. Still struggling for resources, it would seem. Hippolyta back in, getting a little bit of damage. She is the worst of the 3 heroes to have attacking the Titan. Obviously you want all 4 of them, but at this point not happening. And this army here from 3antozz getting cleaned up, as now we're seeing an attempt at grabbing this town center. Obviously you know it, guys. You throw the towers up first. Getting the town center is generally never going to happen. Just get the towers up, make a slow push in, and then you can take it fairly easily. We do see this wall getting taken out by Portable Ram. The Titan coming back in onto this position. Those buildings that were once here have been cleaned up by 3antozz, as he's just trying to continue to erase what Hells is putting on the map, but Hells just keeps saying, nope, going to just keep putting stuff on the map, keep on putting the pressure on. And now we're going to see the stables getting taken out over here, as well as the town center getting destroyed here by the Titan. A couple more whacks here and it will go down. There we go. Hells 3 town centers, 3antozz 0 town centers. One coming back up for 3antozz, and obviously Hells still trying to make his way forward on that location there. Now the Titan returns back into the hometown center that has come back up. Immediately the donkey caravans get back to work. Unfortunately, they can't really pick up gold. You kind of want to send them over to the town, as far away as you can, and then go to the market. You know what I mean? Like, instead of leaving them kind of idle on a town center while it's getting rebuilt. And in that moment, So 3antozz does decide to tap out. Too many Ulfsark on this settlement. This town are not able to get grabbed. No real villagers remaining. And Hells manages to make the Odin work here in this game. The Rag Titan denying the enemy Titan here. I mean, I would argue that if a opponent goes Rag Titan, you actually don't want to go Titan yourself. You want to keep that extra 800 food, 800 wood, 800 gold for a Titan defense most of the time. Getting up Fortress, making sure you can build those heroes and Heliopoli nice and easily while defending the Titan, everything else, and doing the kind of Titan defense we've seen by players like Pegasus Rush and other players as well. But what an incredible game here. Well played by Hells, well played by 3antozz. GG's all around. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTubes, hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys in the next game.